Hey guys, so last review before semester exam is going to go over Unit 1 and Unit 2. So we are going in backwards order, so we're going to start with Unit 2, which was all about parallel and perpendicular lines. So first up, classify each angle pair as either corresponding alternate interior, alternate exterior, or consecutive interior. So part A, I'm going to use pink. Angle 1 and 14. So here is 1 and here is 14. So notice that they both touch line P, but one's on top and one's on bottom. So right away, I know that means that they're one of these that say alternate. And then now looking at these two lines, this would be the in-between, that's interior, but my two angles are exterior, so that means alternate exterior for 1 and 14. Okay, 2 and 4. I'm going to use a box for these. So angle 2 and angle 4. So looking at those yellow ones, this time they're both touching line R and both of them are on the right side. So it's not going to be alternate. So either it's going to be corresponding or consecutive. But now when you look at the different lines that they're touching, both of them are on top. So in between the lines would have been interior. One is interior, one's exterior. So the only thing that this can be is corresponding. On their little intersections, both of those are on the top right. Okay, 3 and 9. Let's use a heart for these. So here's 3 and here's 9. So again, they're both touching line R and both of them are on the left side. And then when you look at these two lines, they're both in between. So this time they're consecutive interior. Both on the left, both inside. Consecutive interior. Okay, and then last, angles 5 and 10. Here is 5, here is 10. They're both touching line P. Only one is top, one is bottom. And then they're both in between the lines, so they're both interior. So this is going to be alternate interior. So it's important that you're able to distinguish between all of these pairs. On the test, there is going to be a matching question where you have to match these up. Okay, number 2. A line is graphed below on the grid. What is the slope of the line parallel to the line graphed? And what is the slope of the line perpendicular to the line graphed? So since both of them are asking about slope, I think it's important that we find slope first. So the good thing about this one is there's 2 points that we can look at, and we're just going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, going side to side. And then because this line is going down, it's going to be negative. So the slope of the line in the picture is negative 5 over 4. Because we always do rise before run. Okay, so if I want the slope, so not the whole equation, just the slope of the line that is parallel to that line, parallel lines always have the same slope. So if the one graphed is negative 5 over 4, then we would also want something that has negative 5 over 4 as a slope. But if instead they ask for perpendicular, we don't want it to be the same anymore. Instead, what we're looking for is opposite reciprocal. So that means that I want it to be opposite, one positive, one negative, and then reciprocal means to flip it. So since the one we have is already negative, we're going to have positive, and instead of 5 over 4, flip that upside down, we are going to have 4 over 5. So on the test, make sure that you're reading carefully which one they want you to do. Okay, number 3. If A is parallel to B, so they're telling us that these two lines are parallel, find the value of X. So looking at what's labeled, I'm going to color them in so we can see better. This angle right here has a label, and then the one with the 27 is referring to that angle. So those angles are alternate exterior. And what we know about alternate exterior angles is that they are always congruent. So all we have to do to solve is we're going to set these two little expressions equal to each other. 23x plus 1 is equal to 27x minus 19. I'm going to put a line down the middle. Okay, there's x's on both sides, so I'm going to go ahead and subtract 23x from both sides. And that leaves me with 1 equals 4x minus 19. Now let's move that 19 over by doing the opposite. We're going to add 20 equals 4x. And then to move the 4, we're going to divide. 20 divided by 4 gives me 5. Okay, and then number 4, if J is parallel to K, so J and K are parallel, find the value of X. So with these, there's a few things that you can do to solve these. What I just did now is I looked at the intersection. So vertical angles are always going to be congruent. This would also be 39. I'm not sure if that would help me. Which means that this part is vertical from this. Or we can do that all three of those angles form a line. So all three of those angles are supplementary. That means that if I add them all up, so 39 plus x plus 57, that needs to equal 180. Okay, so we're going to combine our like terms. There's only one x, but 57 plus 39 gives me, I'm not sure, let's use my calculator. 57 plus 39. That gives us 96. Then we're going to subtract 96 from both sides, which leaves me with x equals 84. Okay, so that is the stuff that we're going to need from Unit 2, especially these two on the top, knowing all those different angles and knowing how to find slope. Okay, last but not least is Unit 1. We also have 4 questions from this one, and this one has a lot of vocabulary and like simple solving. So number 5, which point is collinear to point C and E? So vocabulary word, collinear, that means that they're on the same line. On same line. So point C and E, here's C and here's E. So if you look at the picture, they're asking about this line right here. So what's the only other point that's on that line? Point A. Okay, number 6. Given that L is at 3, -8, and M is at -1,6, find the length of LM. So to find the length, it's like finding the distance between 2 points. The distance formula, I'm going to write it up here, is square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So the 2 points that they give us, it doesn't matter which one you make 1 and 2. I'm just going to go with the first one is x1, y1, and the second one is x2, y2. And now all we have to do is fill in our formula. So long square root. We want x2 minus x1, so that is -1 minus 3. I'm going to square that. Plus, now y2 minus y1. 6 minus negative 8. I know it looks a little funny, but that's how the formula needs to be. So now we're just going to type that whole thing into the calculator. So to get square root, you have to press Control X squared, and then make sure as you're typing that that line is getting longer. All of this needs to be inside of the square root. So I put 2 minus signs there to have the negative. So it gives me this 2 square root of 53, which is the right answer. It's just that on your test, they're not going to be like that. They're going to be in decimal. So you need to press Control Enter, and then that's our answer. So our distance would be, or like our length of LM equals 14.56. Okay. Number 7, this is when we started learning the basics of angles. So what we have in this picture are vertical angles. They are across from each other here. And the thing about vertical angles is that they are also congruent. So we're going to set these two expressions equal to each other. 6x plus 7 is equal to 8x minus 17. I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides. 7 equals 2x minus 17. Then let's add 17. So that is 24 equals 2x. And then last divide by 2. X equals 12. Okay, and then last problem, find the values of x, y, and z. So this one has a few different vocabulary words that you need to know. So when we have that little box there, that means that that is a 90-degree angle. We also have vertical angles in here as well. And then we also have a linear pair. So let's see if we can try to go in order. I'm going to look for x first. So here's x. If you go this direction, y and x are a linear pair, but we don't know y yet. So you could also go this direction as well. X and 72 are a linear pair. See that? So that means that when you add them together, it should equal 180. So x equals 180 minus 72. So when you do that, x equals 108, so 108 degrees. Okay, then we have y. So y is actually even easier. You can do that, it is a linear pair with x, but really what I'm looking at is that y is a vertical angle from that 72. So automatically that's congruent. So y is 72 degrees. Okay, and then last we have z. Okay, so this one is going to be a little tricky. I'm going to erase my green line. So we still have vertical angles. Angle x is vertical with this whole section right here. So since we know that x is 108, then this piece is also 108. But we have 90 there. So to find z, that's going to be 108 minus the 90 that we already have. And when you do that subtraction, that gets you 18. Okay, so those are the 4 questions from Unit 1. Okay, so that's it for this review over Unit 1 and 2. On the back of the page, you have some practice questions that are really similar, and there is an assignment on Schoology if you want to get the extra credit for that.